The Fantasy Waiver Wire.
So, as I mention every week here, if you don't play fantasy, this segment's got some juice for you. Like Sean Tucker, 3 touchdown juice. One of our top pickups of the week last week. If you played him, I got sniped by him in multiple leagues. I tried to pick him up by the guy in, I'm not going to swear, in frickin' first place in my league, getting Sean Tucker and rattling off a 30-point performance while I had to sit and watch my Trey Tucker, the other Tucker, who I got as a consolation prize, not do what I wanted him to do. But we're back. We got 4 teams on bye this week: Broncos, Chargers, Dolphins, Commanders. So a good bit of wide receivers and running backs out there. I mean, some people will be missing Justin Herbert, Bo Nix. So we've got some good pickups for you here. Sean Tucker, by the way, still only 28% rostered. So if he's out
Add
there,
him, pick him up.
Yeah. It's over for Rachaad White. Bucky Irving might be back, but I don't think they're going to just thrust him into his regular role after how long it's taken him to get back and the mysterious nature of his injury. So yeah, Sean Tucker's still out there, but we're moving on with our latest guys. Top overall has got to be Emanuel Wilson, only 10% rostered on Yahoo leagues. Immediately slots in as Packers RB1. As I mentioned, only 3 carries in this entire offense all season long by any running back not named Josh Jacobs or Emanuel Wilson. Should, in theory, have a couple of weeks as the starter, unless Josh Jacobs surprisingly returns next week, but projected for 10.5 PPR points, 55.3 rushing yards, and a 36% TD probability. However, this is without Jacobs officially ruled out yet. Those numbers will spike if and when, which we assume that will happen. Kenneth Gainwell, second running back pickup to target. He's 34% rostered. Probably seen him get added and dropped in your league throughout the year. I've had him at least once or twice. Talked about him earlier as well. Could immediately slot in as the RB1 if Warren sits. Even if he doesn't, he's still got some pretty good PPR upside. He has 3 games with at least 6 receptions, coming off an 81-yard receiving game, 2 games with 2 touchdowns. We project him for 12.4 PPR points, 37 rushing yards, 2.8 receptions, 18.7 receiving yards, and a 48% TD probability. Also still with Warren in the projections here. Moving to wide receivers, the guy who went off and probably victimized someone else besides just me and his 30-point outing, but Michael Wilson is up to 48% rostered, I believe, across Yahoo League. So pushing the threshold here was certainly a popular pickup with my Marvin Harrison Jr. ruled out this past week. Not sure if he will be out again, recovering from the appendicitis surgery, but Wilson just had the best performance of a Cardinal wide receiver this year. Didn't even score, but caught 15 of 18 targets for like $150. Even if MHJ returns, he's got upside versus the Jaguars passing defense that probably got away with one last week, as we said. 11.5 PPR points, 4.2 receptions, 50.4 yards, and a 28% TD probability. Christian Watson, another wide receiver to target. His rostership has been creeping up slowly, but still under the 50% threshold, 35%. He's been really consistent in his return. 2 or 4 catches in every game. He's got the yards to match that. I think one 85-yard game. Others have been 54, 45, 46 or so. Finally caught a pair of touchdowns to match this past week. Packers really need to get him more looks. I don't really understand it. They paid him while he was hurt and haven't been doing enough with him. He's a good contested catch guy, just not getting enough volume to really do that. They really badly need to establish a wide receiver one without Tucker Kraft, who is their best receiver at tight end, and now Josh Jacobs hurt. It's not like Romeo Doubs is emerging and running away with this here. Christian Watson needs to get the ball more, needs to be a focused part of this offense. So temper your expectations, but I think he's a solid flex if you need. It's got to get going at some point. 8.7 PPR points, 41.7 yards, 28% TD probability. Not blowing it away. You're hoping for some upside here, but you got to be aware there's a dangerously low floor for a player who should not have one as bad as it is. One QB from me, Bryce Young, only 13% rostered. That's pretty surprising to me. To be honest, there have been some really mid QBs and injuries this year, but it's pretty bleak out there if you need a quarterback. And why not go with the guy who's coming off a franchise record-setting performance against a team now that just allowed a nearly identical performance to Jacoby Brissett this past week. 16.8 points, 207.7 passing yards for Bryce Young. And one tight end for you, a guy who's been on here before, but remains under the threshold as he's been added and dropped. Juwan Johnson, 47% rostered, sneakily been usable all year long, coming off back-to-back games with a TD, 5 games with 50-plus yards this season, 3 with 70-plus. You can't ask for much more than that from a low-end tight end one. We projected for 10.2 PPR points, just under 4 receptions, 40.8 yards, and a substantial 32% TD probability. There's your guys this week. As always, the nature of doing this is on Tuesdays right after the NFL week, so it's a pretty quick turnaround. Doesn't have a ton of shelf life here, so if you don't catch these guys on Tuesday night, see if they're still available on Wednesday morning or throughout the week. And again, consider the betting opportunities on these guys as well. I would check the Dimers website for any props or value on any of these guys mentioned in this segment, because we're looking at opportunity here. And if the model finds value in those opportunities, you'll find a betting spot on the line.
I'm workshopping reverse correlation ways to bet these. So Emanuel Wilson, Christian Watson touchdown with Vikings +6.5.
That sounds like the ultimate podcast chaos play.
I mean, why not, right? No, I was sitting back watching Sean Tucker explode last week. Like, okay, I can't wait to back whoever's on the waiver wire this week. And just so happens 40% of this is Packers. So I'm going to have to come to terms with that. But no, he's been great. When he came back for his debut, he had some insane lines in terms of props with the books too. I think he was like 18-1 to finish with 4 catches in that game.
Wow.
He's the most talented guy in that receiver room. He really is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been health. It's been availability for him his entire career. When he is 100%, they want him featured as a wide receiver 1 in a way they have not utilized Romeo Doubs. So if he is on the waiver wire, I highly endorse that play. And especially without Josh Jacobs now, I think I would turn my attention towards Watson even more so than I might Emanuel Wilson, but both warrant being on this list for sure, Dave.